Hi, I'm Willow Sage. Thank you very much for being here. As you can tell from the title, this is a video on a several crimes, over a period of 54 years, allegedly, taking place on Highway 16, the Highway of Tears. Now, every bit of information I've gathered has been from YouTube, has been from Google, been from searching. I've been searching. And searching, and then, so it means I don't have all the answers. You can Google all this stuff, but we're going to call it allegedly. Allegedly. All right, we're going to go ahead. I've got green juice here. I've got notes. And I've got makeup. So if you like that sort of content, cool. Excuse the throat. I'm over COVID, but it's taken its sweet old time. Excuse me. So allegedly, this takes place in the interior of British Columbia, which is where I am, BC. I live on the island. This is the interior of BC, up towards Smithers, between, where is it? Between Prince George and, I think, yes, Prince George and Smithers and Terrace, along in that area. Now, allegedly, the last reported missing was October 11th, but reported on November 7th, 2023. Another Indigenous woman west of Prince George. Now, the Highway of Tears is a stretch of highway that takes place between Prince George, Smithers, and Terrace. It is a 725 kilometer stretch, which does not have, well, it has public transportation, but once a day. That's it. So now I'm going to also mention along this route is 20, if I'm correct, 23 First Nation communities. In my view, just my view, and I was sharing this with Paul earlier, this seems like a hunting ground. For what? There's a lot of sadistic creeps out there, very sick people. But 54 years, this can't be one person. I don't think so. In my view, nope. In my view, there are several people that have committed these heinous acts and crimes toward women. And keeping in mind, 80% of the roughly 40 people, women gone missing, they're Indigenous. So, okay, I'm not going to give names of victims. I'm not doing that. I don't have permission. I don't feel like it's not my place. But I am going to give what I got from Google and research and the internet and everything else. A lot of the women that went missing were dumped, if you will. So if you watch crime stories, you understand the term is they're murdered, possibly murdered, and then dumped very quickly so that the murderer does not spend time with the body. They're transient people for the most part. And then that's just a broad spectrum of programs that I've watched, been involved in, read, researched, and checked out. Transient people don't want to spend time with the body. They just want to dump and go and leave and forget about it. I mean, they're getting off on it. They are. This is their fix. This is their thing. They feel like, I feel like they feel like, from watching M.W. Phelps, that they feel like they have a purpose in life. This is their purpose. This is their calling. I mean, this is sick stuff, and it has to be stopped. 54 years? You wonder why I have an opinion about it? Here's why I have an opinion. one, I'm a woman. Two, I'm in BC. Three, I have a right to an opinion. And if we don't start talking about it and stop the isolation of these horrific and brutal killings that have taken place, these people will get away with it. So the second type of killer is one that is local. How do you know they're local? Well, I don't know that they're local. Again, this is just my thoughts and ideas. But in my personal view and in the view of others that I have researched, someone who goes and dumps a body in the bushes and spends time driving the body or the girl, their victim, to the bushes and dragging them there. Often the crime scene takes place if they're dragging the body or whatever, they're carrying the body, takes place in the bush. You're not going to find the body because they've spent time. They've covered the body with leaves or branches or other things. They have taken time to make sure we, the public, the police, the researchers, can't find where the body is or how it even happened. By the time the body's found, fishermen have gone down or hunters have gone around and gone, what's this? It looks like a mannequin, or I see some skeletal remains, and they're not going to know it's a human being until they get close to it, because let's be honest, animals get a hold of the carcass. They get a hold of the body and do their damage. So we need to, I gotta get back to putting my makeup on. Sipping my juice. Oh, my throat. Anyway, I feel like, which doesn't mean fact, if it's really been the first report in 1970, which makes it 54 years, if that's really accurate, in my view, only, there can't be one killer. Why? Because in Terrace, Prince Rupert, the Highway 16, it's a long, long highway. There are truck stops along the way, right? What are truck stops for? Truckers. Okay. Truckers stop, fill up with petrol, with gas, diesel, whatever. Sorry, itchy nose. They stop, they fill up with gas, food, whatever, have a snack, a barbecue, a hamburger, whatever, and then they go on their way, on the merry old way. They just, they're there and then they're gone. Now, if they have the mind of a serial killer, what they do is they do that. They observe what's going on. They will take a girl, forgive the lack of better words, but a girl of convenience to them in their twisted, messed up mind. They'll take the girl that's, she looks like, I can take her. Nobody's going to see me. Nobody's going to notice me. I'm not around here often. And it's a murder or rape of opportunity. Now, from what I can gather, and I could be very wrong, but from what I could gather, the girls that have been taken and murdered have been raped. I believe. Could be wrong. If that's the case, my question in this whole thing would be, do they have any DNA at all? Is there any DNA evidence under the fingernails? Is there, if it's a newly murdered girl, is there any DNA in the body, on the body, around the body, on the clothes, in the area, on the side of the road, it probably wouldn't be if the girl was dumped on the side of the road. But if the girl's dumped and left, brutaled, raped, murdered inside the bush, is there any DNA evidence on the clothing or surrounding area? Because if there is, all they need is one to match. Frankly, my view, this is just my view. You may not agree, and you are allowed to disagree with me. I give you full permission. I don't care. Disagree with me. But I feel like everybody should be in CODIS. And do you know, if you do DNA research on your family, automatically you're entered in CODIS. And from that, remember, BTK killer Dennis Rader was found because his daughter had a pap smear done. That's how he was caught. He also was playing around with the police and, wrote something on a computer thing and sent it to the police. But that's how they got his DNA, was from her. They knew it was a family member of that girl. Not saying or blaming her by any means, just saying. So there has to be, in my view, there has to be somebody, going back to Highway of Tears, 40 women, maybe there's more. If there's 40 and it's 54 years, come on, there's more than that. There's more than that. Maybe somebody just assumes, oh, my niece left and, she was upset. So maybe they're not giving it as much thought, care, whatever. Maybe somebody passed away and didn't report somebody. Maybe a girl was transient. Maybe she was coming to that area, coming to stay with a friend. The summertime, going fishing, boating. I mean, there's all kinds of fishing there. There's all kinds of everything there. Maybe somebody was coming to stay in that area and was kidnapped, removed from their protection. There's all kinds of scenarios, right? And these girls, it's not like they carry brass knuckles or have, knives or something for protection, on them. It's not like that at all. They're going from home, auntie's place, uncle's place. All of these communities, I know 2 communities here, Indigenous communities, they're related, they're cousins. My best friend is Indigenous, and 2 Songhees and the one in Sauk Salish. Songhees and Salish are cousins. There's hundreds of them, seriously. So if there's 23 up in near the Highway of Tears, a lot of them would be family. Could it possibly be a family member? I don't know. I'm asking the question. I'm not assuming anything. I am merely asking. And if somebody has committed these heinous crimes, who's talking? Because come on, 54 years, okay, I guess, I don't know. I know that the police are doing what they can, and some people have the doubt that they're not doing what they're supposed to do, but if it's someone who's transient, who's committing these murders, and transient meaning it's a trucker or someone like that does long distance hauls. And I'm not saying all people who do long distance hauls are transient. I'm simply stating that they would consider someone in that occupation, possibly be transient. But yeah, it just brings up so many questions. Is this their hunting ground? Is it a family member? Is that why the girls are going in the vehicles with the guys? Oh, my second, third, ninth cousin removed. I know that person, my neighbor. Because often enough, when murders happen, the perpetrator is often a neighbor. Somebody you're not going to think of. Dennis Rader, go back to him. Oh, mercy. That guy committed I don't know how many murders. And you know what? He was the guy next door. He was married. He had a family. He was an elder of a church. Just saying. I'm not saying all elders of churches are going to behave in such a deplorable manner, but I'm just saying anything is possible. And we expect a serial killer to look... I was going to say something and I'm not going to say it now. It's about my ex. But anyway, you expect, though, that they're going to be just horrible, horrible people. They are. But you're going to expect that they look that way. Looks have nothing to do with what someone's capable of doing. Nothing at all. So are they talking? If you live up in that area, you've been up in that area since 1970, or you have any information, the RCMP up there would love to talk with you. They would love it if you would report what you do know. If someone has been boasting, bragging, or saying, hey, guess what I did? Well, guess what you can do? You can stop it. And you can give these 40 some odd families, these moms, some peace of mind to know, yes, my child's not coming back, but they can have a proper burial for their baby. They could have some, oh, I don't know, it's not closure. It's never closure when you go through something like that, I'm sure. I've never been through it, and I don't want to. But we have to have a voice for each other. So keep in mind, the Highway of Tears area, Highway 16, in the interior of BC. If you know anything, you've heard anything, anybody's gossiping at a truck stop or at a pub or wherever and saying, yeah, you know, I've murdered before and nobody will ever catch me. Or you're in jail and you're watching this program and you're sitting back going, oh, yeah, I know who that is. Report it. Call Crime Stoppers. If you want to remain anonymous, call Crime Stoppers. Call the RCMP in the interior of BC, Terrace, or Prince Rupert. No, yeah, Prince Rupert is one of them, and Prince George. But somehow, 74 years has to cease and not go into 75 years. That's it's got to come to a stop. Women need, what? 54, what did I say?
74.
Oh, 54, I meant. Somehow, we all can make a difference. All we need to do is use our voices. And if you have information, again, go to the police, call, Crime Stoppers and say, hey, this is about the Highway of Tears, the Highway 16, da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's all anonymous. Now, any of this information I've, given you has been my viewpoint from what I have seen in the public news, searching, research, and not claiming all of it's accurate, because I can't do that, because it's based on what other people have said as well. So please be responsible with what you've learned and do your own research. But again, if you know anything, report it. And stop the son of a bitch that goes around murdering other people's children, because it could have been ours. Thanks for listening.